In this video, I'm going to rank every single game mode in Fortnite history from worst to best. This list is not limited time modes, right? It is permanent core game modes, at least for now, made by Epic Games that can be played in Fortnite currently, right? So that means no battle labs, no playground modes, etc. on this list. So they must be in the game currently, made by Epic Games. I've seen a couple of other creators do this idea. I thought it was a great idea, so I'm here to rank them myself. Be sure to go check out these videos as well. If you do go on to enjoy this video, consider leaving it a like using code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop as always, and let's get right into this ranking. This will be a good one. At number 15, the worst Fortnite game mode, in my opinion, is Party Royale. This shouldn't really be much of a surprise. Even when Party Royale got added to Fortnite years ago, I was like, why does this even exist, right? Like, there's literally nothing entertaining to do in Party Royale. You are better off literally doing anything else in literally Earth's history than try and play Battle Royale and enjoy it. Your time is literally spent better anywhere else in Fortnite besides Party Royale, in my opinion, of course. Like, it's cool for some of the concerts sometimes back in the day, but nothing further than that. At number 14 is going to be Legends Landing. Yeah, you know what? If you didn't know this existed, you're not alone, because honestly, I didn't before watching this video, but don't worry, I did some research. I asked you guys on Twitter about a bunch of different game modes that I need a little bit more research on, and you guys helped me a bunch, so thank you so much to everybody who replied to that Twitter post. But yeah, basically, this is just kind of like a Party Royale, but for competitive, right? You can watch the FNCS on a big screen. There's some box fights to do. You can earn some like FNCS cosmetics, to my knowledge. At the end of the day, nothing special here. I just don't know why you would go to this game mode. At number 13 is going to be Respawn Rumble. So yeah, this actually replaced Team Rumble. And look, it's a very simple concept. It's just kind of your regular team-based, team deathmatch kind of 50v50 style of play. Of course, it's not 50 players or 50 players. In this case, I believe it's 8v8. It's a cool idea if you're just looking for something, you know, casual and you just want to casually play Fortnite instead of having to loot for 15 minutes and then, you know, just die and feel like you wasted 15 minutes. This is a decent option. It's chill. It's a pretty casual way of playing Fortnite. And while it's not for me, I do see why some players would enjoy this game mode, especially if you're just trying to find your footing into Fortnite. And number 12 is going to be Lego Brick Life. So yeah, my problem with Lego Brick Life is, look, it's actually not a bad idea. It's just, this is not what I come to play Fortnite for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hop on the game to play Brick Life. This mode is essentially like kind of like a Roblox slash like GTA slash like Sims kind of open world type of thing. I see the appeal to it, right? Like, I see why players would like this game mode and consider it fun, but it seems like the general consensus when I asked you guys on Twitter was like, yeah, like, it's okay. It's good for XP and stuff, but once you max out your things, it's just like, that's it. There's like nothing really more to do. And yeah, this is just not an experience on Fortnite that I'm really ever going to play. But again, another one where I see the niche here. I see the group of audience of people who would enjoy playing this. And while it's not for me, this might be your favorite game mode in Fortnite, and that's perfectly fine. This list is just my opinion. At number 11 is Lego Fortnite Expeditions, another game mode that, I'll be honest with you, I had no idea even existed until a couple of hours ago while I was researching for this video. It's similar to the other game modes where it's like, I see why people enjoy this, especially this one, which seems like kind of a more grindy game mode. But again, it's pretty simple. Like the rest I just mentioned, this is not the experience that I come on Fortnite to play, and it's just not for me. But honestly, it looks cool, and I might have to give it a try, but I'm fine with basically every other game mode ahead of it on this list. At number 10 is Rocket Racing, and oh my god, it pains me to put Rocket Racing this low on the list because I think this was a game mode with so much potential. Epic Games have essentially just given up on this game mode, let's be honest with you. It's such a shame because this game mode had so much potential to be like almost like a Mario Kart competitor. I just wish that they had done more with the actual maps, maybe the tracks being on like Fortnite locations. I mean, you have so many creative items in Fortnite. You're telling me you couldn't use those in Rocket Racing, similar to how, you know, the items work in Mario Kart, right? Like, I think it was Toon Spider's video who I was watching before ranking this list, and he's like, imagine if you just had a boogie bomb, right? And you could throw it at somebody, and that would actually have an impact in the game, right? That'd be so cool. But instead, it's just a racing simulator. There's nothing else to it. And unfortunately, Rocket Racing has got to be this low on the list, and I wish they were still supporting it. They're not, unfortunately, and so that's why it's at the bottom of this list. At number 9 is going to be Lego Fortnite Odyssey, and I loved Lego Fortnite when it first came out. Me and my buddies grinded this for like 2 weeks. The same thing as Minecraft, right? That like Minecraft 2-week phase where you just grind it and then never touch it again. That is exactly what happened to me with this game mode. Before those 2 weeks, it was actually really fun. Now, I don't know if that was just because it was fresh and brand new. For me, like, I don't think this is a mode that is going to be sustained over time, right? Like, it's not something you're going to play year over year. You might play for a couple weeks, couple months, and then get bored of it and move on to something else. And that's totally fine. Like, I think this game mode serves its purpose. It has its pros, it has its cons. For me, it just got a little bit boring too quickly. I would just rather play Minecraft. I also just hate how they monetize this game mode and like having to buy all the builds like outside of the game mode. I don't know. I think it's really stupid. Kind of rubs me the wrong way, but yeah, I think this is a fair spot on this list for it. At number 8 is going to be Fortnite Ballistic. So this is a really weird game mode, and honestly, I thought that I would like it a lot more than I actually do. It's basically, you know, Fortnite's version of CSGO, Valorant, even Call of Duty if you want to think about that, like that 5v5 gameplay. This is like Fortnite's kind of splash into like the first person scene, and while again another game mode that was pretty popular, especially among the streamers for the first couple weeks it was out, it just kind of fizzled out like the rest of these game modes so far on this list. I'm just not the biggest fan of Ballistic, and I honestly thought that I really would be. Every time I try and play Ballistic, it is just bugged somehow. Either the buy menu doesn't open, or there's just some other glitch that's going on in the game. So far, when I played Ballistic, I haven't had a great experience with it. And I should have mentioned this back at Rocket Racing, but you know, ranked modes, stuff like that, they're all going to be included when I mention it, right? So of course, this Ballistic spot will also include ranked Ballistic. No point to keep them separate. Ballistic is a game mode that has potential, but it's just not one that I hop on Fortnite to play. At number 7 is Fortnite Festival. And of course, as you'll know with Festival, there's actually kind of 3 different iterations with it, right? You've got Battle Stage, Main Stage, and Jam Stage. I'm not going to rank them all separately, but I'll rank them here for you from worst to best. In my opinion, it's Jam Stage, Battle Stage, and then the best being the Main Stage. You know, I'm an unk, right? So I loved Guitar Hero back in the day on the Wii. Like, I was the guy who had, like, the actual guitar you could hold, put the Wii controller in there, and just start, like, ripping Guitar Hero for hours on Wii. So I was really excited when they announced Fortnite Festival, and this was a game mode that I actually had a really good time playing for a good amount of time with my buddies. I remember telling my buddies, like, yo, Fortnite just added kind of like a Guitar Hero copy. We all hopped on, played for a bunch, played our favorite songs. Like, it was cool. But at the end of the day, you've got to buy a lot of the good songs. Like, I know they have, like, you know, the free editions, and they have the Festival Pass. So there's no barrier to entry, right? You can play it free and you can play songs for free, but if like there's a song that you really want to play and it's in the item shop, well, you've got to buy it. You can't just hop on Festival and play it, which kind of sucks. And I just found myself playing the same songs over and over again because I didn't want to spend 500 V-Bucks on another jam track. So again, another game mode that when it launched, I was really a big fan of, but just couldn't keep me playing over the long term. The passes are really cool though, and people seem to be a big fan of those. At number 6 is one of my favorite Fortnite game modes of all time. That is Save the World. This is the real first time in a video that I've ever talked about Save the World, and some of you guys might not know, but I used to grind Save the World back in the day. Like, mainly, of course, I was grinding for the free 50 V-Bucks, but like, I have some really fond memories of Save the World. I think this game mode could have been great if it was free to play. The fact that Save the World never became free and was always behind a paywall, I think killed this game mode. Like, yeah, I paid for it back in the day, but if this game mode was out now and I hadn't paid for it, I'm not going to pay the money to end up playing Save the World. It doesn't feel like a game mode that's worth it for that. But if it was free, I think a lot more players would have played it. This is, of course, you know, the story of Fortnite, really. This is how Fortnite started, with Save the World, not Battle Royale. I actually think this is a really, really good game mode, but unfortunately, since it's not free to play, it's just very difficult for me to put it any higher up on this list because it's just there's that barrier of entry to try and get in and play. And to this day, I think them never making Save the World free was a big mistake and basically the nail in the coffin to Save the World, because if you got the opportunity to play, you know what I'm talking about. This is pretty fun. At number 5 is going to be Fortnite OG, and here we go. Now we're starting to get into the heavy hitters, right? Everything that I just listed from 6 to 15 are more or less kind of like side game modes, but now we're getting into the heavy hitters, and Fortnite OG will be good coming soon. And what I mean by that is I feel like the first 4 seasons of Fortnite OG have just been kind of lackluster. I mean, mainly the first 3. Season 4 has been all right. My big problem with Fortnite OG is just the bots. I cannot stand the bots in Fortnite OG. It feels like you'll kill 2 people off the rip and then you'll be running around for 15 minutes because like 60% of the lobby is just filled with bots that just die off spawn anyways. I will literally make an entire video just dedicated to how much I hate bots in Fortnite. I think it's a terrible idea. But again, you go to Fortnite OG to kind of relive the nostalgia, and if you didn't relive it, experience it for the first time because you might have missed out on all the hype 6-7 years ago. It's a good game mode. It is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It does what it needs needs to do well, and that is kind of, bring back nostalgia. I think it will be great coming forward. I think Season 5, especially Season 7, those are some really, really good game modes, and I'm really excited to play again. But for now, I don't think I can put Fortnite OG any higher up. And I think the player counts will probably agree with me on that one. This game mode is hemorrhaging players. At number 4 is going to be Fortnite Blitz. This is the brand new game mode to Fortnite. It's only been out for a couple weeks now, and it was just announced that Blitz is actually going to be permanent at least until 2027. And who knows in 2 years what's going to happen to Blitz, but this game mode has been getting so much support, literally updates every single week. And the only reason why it's not higher up on this list is because I don't know if those updates are going to continue happening every single week. Like, I don't know if it's just like they're, trying to capitalize on the hype and get as many players to stay as they can, or if it's going to be like Rocket League where they do the same thing. They really update it for like 2 months and then just forget it ever existed. If they continue to update Blitz every single week with brand new loot pools, brand new collab weeks, I know they just announced this whole ninja collab that's going to happen with all brand new mythic items. That's really, really cool. And if you go and play Fortnite, you'll see that Blitz is like almost always the most popular game mode, and that's for a reason. If this game mode continues to get weekly updates month in and month out, this will end up probably being the second best game mode in Fortnite. And I don't think that's crazy to say. People absolutely are loving this game mode. I just wish they had a builds version. I understand why they don't. It would slow down the pace of everything, and Blitz is just meant to be super quick 5-10 minute games. But as a builds player, it's just zero build game modes kind of hurt me a little bit. At number 3 is going to be Fortnite Reload. And of course, this is going to include ranked, not ranked, zero build. I'm putting it all together. I'm not going to separate them all. It makes no sense. And I love Fortnite Reload. I think this game mode is fantastic, right? If you guys play Call of Duty and you play Resurgence, you play Rebirth, right? It's like one of those things where it's like you don't want to play an entire game of Fortnite and open a couple chests and then run around for 15 minutes. You just want quick action, but something maybe a little bit more structured than what Blitz is. Well, yeah, Fortnite Reload is that for you. This game mode is so good. It gets pretty frequent, seasonal loot changes and mythics and exotics and everything. They change up the map a bunch. I really don't have anything to complain about with Reload. It is such a great idea, being able to respawn, of course. Switching around the loot pool keeps it fresh. I mean, a lot of streamers will now exclusively just play Fortnite Reload. They won't even play Battle Royale anymore. And there are people whose careers literally are just playing Fortnite Reload, not Battle Royale, which is honestly insane, but, I tip it. Like, these players are insane. This is a fantastic game mode and should be permanent. This should never leave the site of Fortnite. And it's only higher than Blitz because I'm just not sure if Blitz is going to be getting those consistent updates month in and month out. If it does, it will end up being ahead of Reload in my opinion. But since I'm a builds player and I can play builds Reload, that's why it's at the number 3 spot for me. At the number 2 spot is creative mode. So I didn't really know if I should include creative on this list. It's kind of in that weird middle ground. And I know creative has seen a little bit of a change since a lot of, different stuff has been happening within UEFN. UEFN is basically just a more advanced version of creative mode, of course, accessible on PC, and it will combine the tools of Fortnite Creative with, of course, Unreal Engine. But creative mode at its core is one of the most, if not the most important addition to Fortnite in this game's history. There are people whose literal careers and lives are just designing creative maps that make millions and millions and millions of dollars. In fact, actually it was a really big deal. I think I just saw that a company actually just bought out an entire Fortnite creative map, right? Like, that is a big deal. I don't know if people understand that. As a finance and economics student in college, I can tell you that is going to be a big decision, and more people will end up doing the same thing. The possibilities are endless. I have spent thousands of hours of my life in creative mode, and there is no game mode besides Battle Royale that I play more than creative. And guys, I kind of just spoiled the number 1 spot on today's video. It is obviously Battle Royale. I say spoiled, but you all knew it was going to be here at the number 1 spot. Every time I hop on Fortnite, this is what I'm playing. Fortnite Battle Royale is, in my opinion, one of the best video games that has ever been created. I do not think Fortnite will ever die. I think this game will be around for decades. I think you will be teaching your kids to play this game, and I think you'll be teaching your kids' how to play Fortnite Battle Royale. I do seriously think that highly of Fortnite. This is a game that changed the entire video game landscape. It's just, I could make a whole video about the cultural significance of Fortnite Battle Royale. It's my preferred mode of choice, and I think 99% of you guys would have expected it to be at the number 1 spot, so here it is. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that video. Of course, something different than, just ranking weapons, and I wanted to switch it up a bit. And if you guys did go on to enjoy this video, please consider leaving it a like and letting me know what you thought about this ranking in the comment section down below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And with that all being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace.